Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Okay, so how are you all? ¿Cómo estáis todos? Espero que todo vaya muy bien. Now, in today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is not a grammar-based video. We're going to look at some customs, especially relating to food and eating in Spain. Now, so if you're hoping for a grammar video, this is not for you. So, but if you're interested in Spanish customs, then this is for you. Some of you may or may not know, depends if you live in Spain or if you just come here on holiday or what your experience with integrating into the Spanish sort of culture is. Some of you may know that in Spain, the meal times are very different to meal times, certainly in Britain, and I think for a lot of countries in Europe. In other words, in Spain, lunchtime, first of all, is the biggest and most important meal of the day. So, whereas in Britain, we tend to eat a bigger meal in the evening and maybe we'll just grab a sandwich at lunchtime. No, that is unheard of in Spain. There are no just grabbing a sandwich moments in Spain anyway. Everything takes time. Every time you eat something, whether it be your breakfast, perhaps your breakfast is about maybe the quickest meal of the day, where breakfast is probably just a colacao and a magdalena or a café con leche. But any other meal that you have as the day goes on in Spain, it's time is taken over it. It's not just grab it, eat and run like we tend to do in Britain, and probably a healthier way of doing things. Food is very connected with the family, with social occasion. Eating it's not just the activity of eating that counts, it's the whole thing that surrounds it, the whole social occasion that surrounds it. So generally lunchtime, which is always at 2 o'clock, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, unless you're working and you can't do it at that time. Lunchtime at round about 2 o'clock is sacrosanct, and this is as I said, the biggest meal of the day. This is where you'll get your starter, your main course, your salad, your postre, your café con leche, etc. It's the whole caboodle in the middle of the day. So, having said that, when it's special occasion, for example, if it was someone's birthday or if it's Christmas, quite often then the evening meal becomes more important. But it's very late, it may start at 10, 11 o'clock even in the evening and go on for hours. Okay, so these are some rules of etiquette, if you like, for eating in Spain. So if you're ever fortunate enough to be invited to eat with Spanish people, these are the things you should perhaps bear in mind. So the first thing is everyone is waited for. So we do not start a meal, whether it be in a restaurant, in a home. Do not start your meal until everybody who's supposed to be there at that meal has arrived. This might mean waiting 30 minutes. It may even, however long you have to wait, because no meals are started until everybody who's supposed to be there sat around the table is sat around the table. Another thing that I'm sure you'll have noticed if you spent any time at all in Spanish restaurants is bread is eaten with everything. It's served with everything. Anything you order in a Spanish restaurant or cafeteria or wherever, you will be served bread. And this is true at home also. Bread is an integral, if you pardon the expression, it's not normally brown bread, part of the dining experience in Spain. And it is you are encouraged to dip this bread in whatever sauce is in your dishes, be it tapas, maybe it's albondigas with salsa de tomate, you know, meatballs in tomato sauce, or gambas al ajillo, you know, garlic prawns, or whatever sauce it comes with your tapas or meal or whatever you're eating. You are encouraged to dip it in, dip that bread in. That is not bad manners, that is expected. So, bread is eaten with everything, even pasta, and it's dipped in where possible. Okay, now, yes, so I wanted to talk about that final bit of food that's left over, la de la vergüenza, the one of shame, that translates to. Now, this refers to the last bit of food that's left. So, you know, if you're sharing a plate of tapas and there's one meatball left, you should not eat that meatball. It is very rude to just take that meatball without actually offering it around the table first. So you may offer it round secretly, hoping that everybody's going to say, oh, no, no, you have it, you have it. But you should not just take the last piece of anything without offering it round the table first. And normally what happens is people will say, oh, you will have half each, or, you know, so it's normally split maybe into five, one meatball, everybody has a little bit of it, because that's just sharing food is quite common in Spain. So yeah, don't eat la de la vergüenza until you've offered it around the rest of the diners first. Another thing very important is don't criticize the food. You know, it is very bad manners, I think, even in a restaurant, to say actually to the person, the chef or whatever, oh, that was terrible, or I don't like that, or whatever. I mean, you can, if you don't like it, obviously you don't want to eat it, but it's better to say that you're full and that's why you're not eating it if you're asked, not to say, oh, sorry, I don't really like that. Even if it's not that particularly you don't like the way they've cooked it, maybe you never like mushrooms or gambas or whatever, but it's rude to say that you don't like it. So, yeah. But you don't have to eat it, but you shouldn't say the real reason why you're not eating it. Okay, another sort of definite no-no, which funnily enough, my brother always used to say, oh, it's a Riley thing, that we don't like visitors during meal times, or, you know, if we're eating and somebody turns up at the door, it's like, so, you know, maybe it is a custom or something that applies to your family too, but it would be in Spain, you should not visit during meal times. And the good thing, if you like, in Spain is because meal times are so etched in stone, you know, everybody else, you would never go and call at your friend's house at 2 o'clock because you'd be having your lunch as well. So everybody's having lunch and that's known. So nobody would go around somebody's house at that time or any time when it's likely that they're having a meal. If you're already at their house, you should leave before 2 o'clock unless you're specifically invited to stay. So, don't visit during meal times, and I think this is quite easy to avoid because they're pretty much set in stone the times that people eat in Spain. Now, offering food to others. This is really obligatory. Now, as I said, we were saying earlier about la de la vergüenza. They may well say, oh, no, no, it's fine. But you should always offer. So if you've got a little plate of almonds or olives, you should always offer it to others. I find this quite difficult because I hate sharing food. It's not that I don't know why. I just think for me, you order what you want, and if you know, and you always get that person, don't you? Say, "Oh, I wish I'd ordered what you've ordered," and then they start trying to take bits of yours, or they say, "Oh no, I don't want any chips," and then you order chips, and they say, "Oh, I'll just have a few." And you know, I know it doesn't bother some people, but it does, I can't help it. I must be brought up that way. I don't know, but to me, I just think, well, order what you want. You know, like don't order something different and then say that you wanted mine. But anyway, so and this wouldn't go down well in a gathering with Spanish people, which you know I would always have to offer it to other people. It's just that now they will probably politely say, "Oh no, thank you." That's something you may notice, but you should always still offer it again the next time that you take an olive or you take an almond or whatever, you should offer again, because the first time that they refuse may just be politeness. If you offer again and they still refuse, then they genuinely don't want one. But if they do secretly quite fancy an olive, they will then take one the second time. Okay, and then the final thing that I wanted to talk about, because I just love this, of course, but I realised that me and my friends, we've been doing this for years without even realising it was a Spanish custom. And this is really what I love most about eating in Spain is the relaxed attitude of eating in Spain. Now, I know certainly in the UK, quite often you book a table and you only have an hour or maybe an hour and a half or whatever to eat your meal, and then they've got somebody else coming in. That never, ever happens in Spanish restaurants. You book your table for whatever time you book it for, and that table is yours until you've finished and you've gone. And this, of course, leads to sobremesa. So this literally means on or above the table. And what this relates to is the conversations. This is what I like about the social part of eating in Spain, the conversations that take place during meals. Now, during the actual meal itself, it's probably quite a limited conversation due to the fact you're eating, and also it'd be rare to speak about anything more important during that time. But then when, you know, the coffee's served and maybe a brandy or whatever you have, you know, they have these liqueurs and things. That is when the serious conversations start. People really get chatting, and that can go on for hours and hours. And it can go on all night if you're dining in the evening. If you're eating lunch, and I've done this several times with many of my friends, you're having your lunch, you're chatting afterwards, until in the end you end up dining together as well, because you're talking so long. You know, and it's lovely because it's just such a relaxed atmosphere, not this sort of quick eat it, you know, eat it and then gone and go and do something else. No, eating and meals in general, they are a way of socializing too in Spain, a way of all the family being together, all the age groups. That I think is lovely as well. You've got from the little kids, you know, to the grannies and granddads. You've got everybody all there together enjoying each other's company. And if that's the only time in the day or the week, if it's one time a week, if that's the only time that everybody all gets together, at least it is that one time. So that's it. So just a sort of a fun video, really, if you like, just to tell you what the customs are in Spain for eating. Maybe you know some of those already. Maybe you spend time in company of Spanish people, and maybe there's other things you've noticed. Let me know in comments if there are. Okay, so that's it. That's it for this video. Just to remind you that I do also do private classes, Zoom or in the classroom. So if you would like to learn Spanish or learn more about Spanish in a classroom situation, either over the internet or here in the classroom in San Miguel de Salinas, please contact me and let me know. And until then, te veo en el próximo video y hasta entonces, que tu Dios vaya contigo. Muchas gracias. No olvides thumbs up y suscribir si no lo has hecho ya. Pero gracias por mirar y hasta pronto. Adiós.